Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse One here. Welcome, welcome. I hope everybody's doing well. Uh, so it's Tuesday. Decided to come live for you guys, and we're going to do another thing here tonight. I want to remind everybody that if there's any kind of interruption or any problem with this, um, we will get right back on as soon as I possibly can. Okay, so having said that, before we get really started in the show, I was contacted by one of my followers here, a guy named Bob. I'm not going to give his last name, I'm just going to give his first name. And he ran me through some diagnostics on my laptop. And lo and behold, everything on my end is fine. But he did say something which made a lot of sense, and I'm not going to say what that was that could be part of the problem. And it does make a lot of sense what it could be. Two different things that it could be. So the one was like, okay, but the other one really let a light bulb go off in my head. And I said, you know what, if that's the case, then we're going to have to do something about that. But anyway, I will discuss that at a later time. But anyhow, so before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel, and that we want to keep it clean. Please be decent in the chat. If you are not decent in the chat, my uh, moderators will boot you out of here, and just be it's easier just to be decent. So let's not have any kind of nonsense. Okay. The other thing, like I said, if you have any questions, please all cap lock so they stand out. So I just want to say thank you to Bob for the help. I appreciate that you didn't have to do that. It was very nice of you to come in and offer that help and try to figure out what was going on and why the streams were being interrupted. So we do know now that in my end, I don't even, because I was thinking I might have to go to a higher speed internet. He said, no, you're fine. Your stuff is fine. So, so that's interesting. But so the explanation that he gave made a lot of sense. And so, again, I just want to thank him really, really quickly. I always want to put that out there. If somebody does something like that, I just want to acknowledge it, and I know they're not doing it for a pat on the back, but, I do appreciate everything. I always do. That's just the way I am. So just putting that out there, okay? So we're going to talk about a lot of stuff here, guys. So they're trying to get the stimulus package through, okay? And there's a couple of things in this that may get passed through and may not get passed through. One of the things that they're trying to do, and I'm not sure if it's the Democrats or the Republicans that are trying to push this through. They're trying to push through a federal digital dollar. They're trying to use that to get that in there now. So all of you that are going to jump on here and say, "Oh my God, one world currency." No. This is the United States only. But they're trying to do a digital dollar. I don't like that idea at all, I'll be honest with you. That's just my opinion. Hey, Prepper Chris 1. So my town got its first case today at Walmart. I was just in there the other hold on a second. I just want to make sure I read that whole thing. I was just in where this guy's LOL, me and his press trying to reopen the country. Oh, you know what? Okay, yes. We're going to talk about that, Prepper Chris 1. We're going to talk. Thank you very much for the donations. So we might as well jump into that right now, okay? But anyway, well, before we do that, let's just talk about the digital dollar. That's part of the thing that they're trying to get in. I think it's the Democrats are trying to get the digital dollar into this stimulus bill, okay? So I don't know if it's going to be a part of the final thing or not, but that's one of the holdups. The other holdup, before we're gonna get into the whole thing, okay, about reopening things. The other thing that they're trying to do, one of the bone of contention, and this is the Republicans trying to push this through, is a $500 billion guaranteed loans for large industries. Okay, $500 billion. And so the Republicans have a hard time with that one. The Democrats are having a hard time with that one because they don't want to put through guaranteed loans. Because I don't know if you guys remember or not when Obama did all those guaranteed loans and stuff like that, and he was trying to push for green energy. They gave out, billions of dollars, and a lot of these companies, as soon as they got that huge stimulus package, they went under. I don't know if you guys remember that. I remember that. And like I said, again, I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. So I'm not like rah, 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 or, hate, hate, hate. I don't do either one of those. If the president's doing a good job on something, I'm going to say it. If I don't think he's doing a good job on something, I'm also going to say that. So with that being said, let's talk about this really quickly, because I think this is something where I think he's making a mistake. And this is, of course, I will say this is my opinion on this. The president is saying that he wants to get people back to work by Easter. Okay. Hunter Davis, hold on a second. Do you think this will all blow over or something bigger? I don't think this is going to blow over, Hunter. Thank you very much for that donation, by the way. No, I don't think this is going to blow over. I think this is something that's going to go on for a while. And then I think it's going to come back even worse in the fall. That's my opinion, of course. I don't have any proof that said, yes, this is what's going to happen. But if you look what's happened so far with this, and again, even with all the lies coming out of China, and people are saying that all these cell phones, people are no longer having cell phones in China to the tune of like 2 million people, I think is what I heard. Now, I can't say that 2 million people, Chinese, died, and so now they're canceled their cell phone service because they're not alive. I don't know. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm just saying with that. Okay, hold on a second. Oh yeah, and U.S. will be number one this time next week. Yes, I saw. Yeah, I believe that as well. Prepper Chris 1, and thank you again for that donation. I appreciate that. 21 million cell phones were canceled. Okay. Now somebody else is saying 14. So anyway, it's a lot of cell phones were canceled. Does that mean that it was 14 or 21 million people died? There's, I don't know. But it's kind of interesting that all of a sudden that many people would cancel their cell phone service all at the same time. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? I don't think that whole situation over there in China is resolved as they're trying to say that it is. But 8 million smokers died last year. Kenneth just said that. Okay, well, I'm sure they did. And I wonder how many obese people. And I'll guarantee you the obese people, it was a lot more than 8 million people that died. And I'm talking, way overweight people died from health-related issues due to obesity. A lot more of them. So anyway, I want to talk about this back to work by Easter thing that the president said. I do not agree with that at all. I understand. The economy was going well. There was jobs. Everything was great. Hey, Smitty. Another good trade. Oh, hold on a second. Another good trade to know mechanics. My truck went down and I have to fix it to get places. Yeah, well, that's a very good trade to have. That's for sure. Hey, Baroness, thank you very much. Let's see. He reopens everything, it'll go from bad to worse. Yes, if he reopens everything, it'll go from bad to worse. I agree with you 100%. Hopefully, cooler heads will prevail, and they will tell him that that's not a good idea, and hopefully he will change his mind. He wants to get things rolling again, obviously, because it reflects badly on his presidency if we have record number of people unemployed. But this is an anomaly. This is something that, if you want to call it an act of God type of thing, we don't have control over that, so that's kind of the way that goes, unfortunately. So Trump said April 10th and the stock market bumped up. And again, I honestly do not believe that people are going to be back to work April 10th. You got to remember something, guys. We're going to talk about New York numbers here in just a second, okay? And we're going to talk about one of the reasons why New York numbers are bumping up as high as they are as well. Let's see. Shag T, what do you think of them saying that the people who are hoarding items or hold on a second, or prepping will start getting prosecuted for holding too much values unnecessary for other people could be using? Now it's not preppers. Okay, so thank you very much for that donation. Let me explain that real quick. And they talked about this. Necessary supplies to what people need. Okay, what their language in that could be very vague and very broad. I agree with that. It could be very broad and they could say it whatever way that they want to. But what they're talking about is the people that are hoarding medical supplies like masks and gloves and protective gear, anything like that, and trying to make a profit on that. That's what they're targeting with that he passed that bill. It's not against a prepper who has a year's worth of food that's preparing for his family. That's not what that bill is for. So, but thank you very much for that donation. I do appreciate that. If no one is working, they are goners. Right, exactly. And that's the problem. Nobody's going to be working. And at the end of the day, the stimulus bill that they're trying to pass, they're talking about a $2 trillion stimulus bill. They're talking about being able to give people jobs to have them working for up to 4 months. Hey, Madeline Mullins, no question, just thank you for all that you do. Well, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. But they're trying to, the stimulus bill is going to give people money to basically stay home like they're working for 4 months. That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to pass. So honestly, when this whole thing got going, this isn't going to be over in weeks. Hey, Black Hat Prepper, just dropping by to say hello. Martial law will come in these psycho groups on YouTube. Strike buddy, beware, be safe. Yep, you know what? There will be people that think that they're going to go out there and play Rambo. I agree with you. Thank you very much for that donation as well. And I'll be safe. Believe me, I'm prepared. I have been for a long time. MEN Eve, brother is. Oh, hold on a second. Brother is letting play dates come to his home. Well, he's playing Russian roulette this time of year, doing that type of stuff. Thank you very much for that donation. Hey, Chris, thank you also for that donation. I do appreciate it. Thank you both very much. Ed, he is being told to say that Homeland Security took control of the media and all. I thought, hold on a second. I thought we were all smarter than this. Again, hopefully, there's games being played, guys. Obviously, there's games being played. Trump wants people back to work. It just makes sense for him to do that, obviously. Hey, Uber Viking. Emma is home. Awesome. Very, very glad to hear that. They didn't take her temperature before boarding in France. They didn't take her temperature when arriving in Atlanta. They didn't take her temperature when arriving in Chicago. Isn't that amazing? That is crazy. I'm glad she's home with you. That's awesome news. That's wonderful. I'm glad she's home because I know how I would feel if it had been Heather. So I'm really, really happy for you. Asif, my last student who worked at my hospital said that the last week someone stole 195 masks and 1 case of gloves from storage room at the hospital. Doesn't surprise me at all. Thank you very much for the donation as well. Prepper Chris 1, stay calm. This is what we prepared for. Exactly. That's exactly right. And thank you also for that donation. Guys, I'm telling you what, the reason that we prep, the reason that we do what we do is exactly what is going on right now. Those are the scenarios, one of them, that's why we do what we do. There's nothing wrong with prepping. It gives you peace of mind. It helps you be in a better spot when something bad happens. I see we're at 2.5 in the chat, guys. We're only at 521 on the thumbs up. So if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, if you would do that, I would appreciate it. And thank you very much for the support. And also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do subscribe. Make sure you also hit that bell icon to get all notifications. So I want to talk about how things are ramping up really, really fast in New York, okay? So the total cases in the U.S. are 53,794, all right? With 705 deaths, which is up 305 in 1 day, by the way, all right? With 371 people recovered. Okay, so 53,000 altogether, right? New York State has 25,665 cases. That's up 4,790 cases from yesterday. We're at 210 deaths, which is up another 60 deaths from yesterday, and 0 recovered. That's one that stands out to me the most. 0 recovered, okay? Why does New York have so many more cases than a lot of countries altogether? Well, part of that reason is that they've really started amping up testing. As of a few days ago, and maybe 3-4 days ago, only 195,000 people in the entire U.S. had been tested. They're finally getting these kits out there. New York is now testing up to 70,000 people a day, okay? So, and I'm going to tell you right now, I am not a huge Andrew Cuomo fan, never have been, probably never will be. But I will say I think he's doing a good job on that. Hey, Baroness, in press conference, they touched on mad exodus from New York to mainly Florida and other locations, telling them to self-quarantine. Can we trust the majority to do that? Obviously, they don't like lockdown. You know what? Again, thank you very much for that donation. And we're going to talk about Florida for a second, too, because somebody brought up something today. They pointed it out to me, and I thought it was really, really interesting information. So, but no, people won't go into quarantine. They won't follow the rules. That's just people always feel they can do whatever they want to do. Prepper Chris 1, my prayers for you, Ed, in New York. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Thank goodness, and it sounds horrible to say, being in upstate New York, most of the cases are downstate. It's horrible to say, I know. Heroic Waffles, hey, new subscriber here. I'm in New Jersey, and it's tough here. My work is in New York City, and it's mandatory work from home. Do you think martial law is possible? I do think that, no, it's not 70,000 new cases a day. There's testing 70,000 people a day in New York, not 70,000 new cases. They're testing that many people now in New York, which they need to be testing in New York City. They need to be testing everybody. As far as your question, as far as martial law, I think it is possible that certain areas of the country may go under some form of medical martial law. But I don't think there's no way to lock the entire country down into a martial law. Again, I don't see that happening. But I wanted to talk about this. So Baroness had said there, and thank you very much for the donation, and welcome to the channel too, by the way. I'm glad you're able to work at home. That's a good thing. So that's really important as well. But I want to get back to what the Baroness was talking about the mass exodus. A lot of people leaving for Florida because they don't want to be in quarantine in New York, okay? Jay Medic, my spouse is a mathematician. Based on current data, it is concluded that it is possible the death toll from COVID-19 will surpass influenza by 4/8/20. Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for that information. And there's a lot of charts out there, a lot of people saying a lot of different things. And again, a lot of the, we just thought there's so many unknowns. It's scary. But so let's talk about really quickly the exodus of people out of New York going to Florida. So why, and here's a question, guys, and I want you to think about this. Florida, we always made the joke here in New York, when the wintertime comes, we have the migration of the blue hair, which it's an old joke that we've always had. So what does that mean? It means all the old people head down to South Carolina, Georgia, Florida for the winter because it's warmer down there, right? I mean, my dad was one of them. Every winter he went to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and he spent 3 months in Myrtle Beach because he didn't want to be up here for the winter, which I don't blame him. But a lot of older people, large elderly communities in Florida. Why isn't it going nuts in Florida if the older people are the most susceptible? I want you to think about that because I thought that was very interesting. Somebody had brought that point up, and we call them snowbirds. Yeah, well, I've called them snowbirds too, but I like calling it the migration of the blue hair. And why is it the blue hair? Because when they perm their hair, it has a bluish tinge, the ladies. So, Prepper Chris 1 called Florida, was hoping I was wrong. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, you're probably not wrong. You're probably not wrong. I think it's going to get rampant down there as well. The reason, okay, so let's talk about the reason a lot of states don't have larger numbers like New York does. Why does New York have such large numbers of people? Almost half of the people sick with the virus in the United States are in New York. Why is that? Because Cuomo got going and started testing people. Okay, he started rocking and rolling and getting that going. Something else I want to point out about Cuomo. Again, I'm going to tell you, and I'll be 100% honest, I am not a Cuomo fan at all, okay, just so you know. But I think the way he's handling this situation, I got to give the guy props, because here's the thing. He so in New York, in like New York City area, they have between 5,000 and 6,000 ventilators. He said we need 30,000 ventilators because of the potential of the number of people that are going to be sick in New York State, right? So they sent him, let me just see, where was that? I want to see, what was the agency? Whatever, Homeland Security or whatever the agency, it wasn't Homeland Security, but whatever the agency was that they had talked to, they sent 400 ventilators to New York. And he says, what is sending 400 ventilators going to do? He goes, we need 30,000. Well, because he was saying, we need more, they actually ended up sending another 2,000 ventilators. Now, is 2,500 ventilators or 2,400 technically as much as we need here? No, we need a lot more because we got a lot of people in a concentrated area that this is, or FEMA. Yeah, I think it was FEMA. Thank you. PAMET. Thank you very much. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah. So They ended up sending an extra 2,000 ventilators, which hats off to him for raising a fuss. I'm going to tell you what, again, I don't like Andrew Cuomo. Okay, I'm a Second Amendment guy. Andrew Cuomo is not a Second Amendment guy. They've robbed us of our rights here in New York and all kinds of stuff. But I do have to give props. Again, I will always give props where props are due. I think he's doing an exceptional job with this whole thing, trying to get things under control, because a lot of New Yorkers are going to die because of this here. A lot. When you have, so that's why there's so many more cases in New York, because of the testing. They've amped up testing and the numbers are jumping up. Hey, Cindy Lee, my daughter works at a grocery store. There's a case on our town. Would you keep her home? Thank you. Again, you know what? That's going to be an individual call for you, but my child's life is worth more than a job. That's my opinion. So if Heather, let's put it like this, I'm going to reverse that situation, and here's how you're going to get your answer for that. Because I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I will say this. If my daughter was working in a grocery store in town and there was coronavirus cases in our area, she would no longer be working there. So I hope that answers your question. MT Coiner, everyone acting normal in Montana again. Boone soon. Yeah, it's weird how some people, some people are just not paying attention, and they act like it's not going to affect them. And now you got cases where younger people are getting it. I mean, they were showing stuff. They finally closed the beaches in Florida because all these people were out on the beach. It's just a big party, nothing to worry about. It's insanity to me. It's absolutely insanity. Guys, I see we're up to 3.1 in the chat, which is pretty decent. I'm not going to complain about that. We're at 977 on a thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I absolutely would appreciate it if you would do that. And thank you for that support for the channel. It does mean a lot to me. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications. Hey, Asif, CV19 is to New York City what gremlins are to water. Exactly. Yeah. Well, when all this whole thing started and we had these cases in Seattle and they were saying, oh, we got no cases in New York. If you guys go back and watch, I was like, there is no way we don't have cases in New York. And I'm going to tell you right now, with 25,000 cases in New York alone, a lot of them are down in that area. Obviously, there's a lot more. Guaranteed there's a lot more. So, again, when people are asymptomatic and they're not showing signs, that's a scary time because you just don't know. I want to mention my website really quickly, guys, for two reasons. On my website, we have the Prepper Nurse One community, which is a great resource for you guys to use for absolutely free. It does not cost you anything to connect with like-minded people. So if you go on my website, preppernurse1.com, you click on PN1 community. Hey, Prepper Chris One, PN1U chat going to be big soon. Yeah, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And thank you for the donation as well. What is the case total in New York City? The last I saw in New York City alone, and this was just a couple of days ago, it was 8,000 people just in New York City. That was, I think, like 3 days ago. So I don't know what the current numbers are exactly in New York City. I will look into that, and I'll tell you what. Well, I'm going to live stream tomorrow, and I'll give you guys a number on that tomorrow. Okay. But anyway, going back to my website, you do have to register for the Prepper Nurse One community, okay? But it is totally free. We will not ask for credit card information. So make sure, if you want to go connect with like-minded people, if you want to just go in and read the message boards, if you want to go in to try to connect with like-minded people or just to talk, if you're looking to connect with somebody in your state or in your country, it's a great resource for that. If you're looking to network, I think networking is hugely important, and so that's a good resource for that as well. So definitely go check that out. I'm also going to talk about real quick the legacy freeze-dried foods that we do have available on my website as well. Now, somebody tried to say that, oh, you're just pushing the larger buckets and stuff like this. I get information from Legacy. Legacy is focusing on the bigger buckets because that's the higher demand, okay? So you can go ahead and order something else from the website from my website, preppernurse1.com. You click on store, it drops down, it'll say Legacy Foods. You can order whatever you want, but if you order whatever you want, just know that it will be a while, between 30 and 50 days before that ships out, okay? If you buy the bigger packages, the 120 bucket deals or higher, that is going to ship out sooner. So that's all I'm telling people. Anybody has an issue with that, I got to go with what they tell me. Okay. I have people right now that have orders in that are waiting for their orders. Okay. Once I put the orders in, it's out of my hands. It's all on Legacy, and I just have to wait on them. Okay. So what I would tell anybody, it's first in, first out, basically. Your order comes in, and those are the orders. As soon as they get those products in, those are the orders that are going to go out first. So, but if they have, like right now, they have in stock the larger bucket packages. That's what I'm sharing with people. So totally up to you. If you buy Legacy, Augustin Farm, Mountain House, or My Patriot Supply, I don't care which one you buy, guys. I really don't. It's up to you. You buy whatever you want to buy. As long as you're doing something to help yourself, if you're being proactive to help yourselves, that is my goal. That's what I want you to do. Now, if you do buy Legacy from my website, do I make some money off of that? I sure do. Okay, and that helps us support us what we're doing here at the homestead. So I'm putting that out there. Always honest. I will never BS you guys. I will always tell you the truth. So I just wanted to put that out there. Okay. So that being said, let us move on. All right. Sorry. I get irritated when people say different things, and it's like, and they're saying false heads or I'm only trying to help out rich people. Absolutely not. That's not the case at all. So, hey, unknown source, thank you very much for the donation. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Is a virus transmittable by mosquitoes? David Forder just asked that. You know what, David? I do not have the answer to that. If a mosquito bit somebody that was infected and then went to somebody else and bit somebody else, I don't see why it wouldn't be. I imagine that it probably could be. So again, that, like I said, I don't have the answer to that. I don't even know if the scientists know the answer to that. What I want, let's talk about the virus itself for a minute, guys. Okay, what do we know for sure? Okay, so everybody's saying this is a cure, that's a cure, this is a cure, this works, that works. At this point in time, they have no cure. Okay, they have no cure for this virus. That we know. We know that it is highly, highly, highly transmittable. Okay, it's spreading like wildfire. The numbers are going to continue to go up. If the government is asking you to shelter in place, I don't see that necessarily as government control. Hey, Prepper Chris 1, they're nature's needles after all. Yes, mosquitoes are nature's needles. And if you use a dirty needle, for intravenous drug use, you can become infected with whatever, So it would make sense that it would probably be true, but I'm not going to say that it is, okay? Vermont is on a stay-at-home order. Well, I just saw that India, the country of India, just shut down. The whole country. So think about that. We're talking, another 1.1 billion people? So I want you guys to think about that. I think what people fail to realize, hey, William, Jaroske. I don't know how to say your last name, so I'm not even going to attempt it. Thank you very much for that donation. I do appreciate that. Thank you. They have therapies that reduce the respiratory symptoms. Yes, Mrs. T, they do. But again, it's not a cure, okay? Having breathing treatments is going to obviously help. Having somebody on a ventilator is obviously going to help. But if people, see, the problem is when the people get this virus, if they have underlying issues, other medical issues, it exacerbates that, and that's what's generally killing people. Okay, so that's the problem with this whole thing. And so that's why a lot of older people are dying from this. But now a lot of younger people are actually getting it as well, and they're getting sick. You know what? Social distancing, a lot of the things that they're saying are making a lot of sense. All right, social distancing, not meeting in large groups of people, hand washing, making sure surfaces are clean. If you go out, and again, I'm telling you, my recommendation to you guys, if you go out in public, at least an N95 mask, if not a gas mask. If you have a gas mask is going to be better seal on your face, okay? And it also, a gas mask will protect your eyes as well. Make sure you wear gloves, because I'm going to tell you what, I am one of the worst culprits for touching my face. I touch my face all the time. Hey, Uber Viking, can you test negative and be a carrier? Absolutely. You can absolutely test negative and be a carrier, because the tests are not 100% accurate. Chrissy Martinez, Ann tested positive for COVID-19. She thinks it came from a kiss concert she went to 3 weeks ago. She's in the hospital. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that, and I hope your aunt gets better. So there, for anybody that's asking, do you know anybody that actually has it? There you go. There's somebody right there. I know I asked in a previous show if somebody said if they knew anybody that had it, and I probably had 10 people at least come on here and say, yes, they knew somebody that had it. So a lot of people are trying to be very dismissive of this whole thing. Tango Alpha Bravo, is Mucinex helpful to keep sinuses out of the lungs? Yes, Mucinex is helpful for that, absolutely. Taking any kind of medication that you can that's going to help you is not a bad thing, okay? If you have this virus, we really do need to be proactive. We need to be very, very careful because, again, there's so many unknowns with this thing. Hey, Donna Smith, 3 things need to happen. Oh, hold on a second. I want to make sure I read your whole comment here. RO needs to go below 1. Yes, it does. Economy needs to keep moving. Hospitals need to remain functional. If RO is over 1 and the other 2 things, economy and hospitals are in trouble. You are exactly right. So let me just clarify what she's saying, guys. All right. Thank you very much for that donation as well. RO is rate of, where is how fast it's spreading. Right now, the rate of transmission from one person who has the virus, they're affecting at least 3 other people. So what we need to do is we need to get that one person affecting less than one person. That's how you defeat a virus. Right now, we're not defeating it. It is still going up. It's still skyrocketing up. So with the president saying that we're going to be back to work by, the 14th of April, I think he's sadly mistaken. I think he's very sadly mistaken. So 85,000 killed from drunk drivers. Well, they're not out on the roads now, are they? Asif, a young person who smokes or vapes. Oh, hold on a second. I want to make sure I read your comment. Is going to be more bumpy course for the CV. Smoking destroys the cilia that helps clears the lungs from junk. Yeah, I mean it makes absolute sense. And just so you guys know again, and I'm going to point it out, he probably doesn't want me to do it, but Asif is a doctor, so he knows what he's talking about. So thank you for that information, and thank you as well for the donation. I do appreciate that. But yes, a friend of mine was just told she has it in Windsor, California. Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. But again, if you're going to go out in public, make sure you're wearing gloves. Protect yourselves, guys. It's really, really important. Prepper Chris 1, just a FYI, the rate of transmission, 3.4. Okay. All right. Nikki Johnson, your thoughts on Lieutenant Governor of Texas statement. I did not see the statement, so I don't know what they said, so I cannot give you an opinion. I'm sorry. I have no idea what they said. So, I mean, there's like so much information coming in, guys. It's crazy. And obviously, being in New York, I'm kind of focused on watching a lot of how things are developing here. But anyway, if you're going to go out, if you need to go out in public, if you got to go pump gas, you got to go get gas, you got to go to the grocery store, gloves, masks, eye protection, okay? Protect yourselves. Because the thing is, what happens is, if you become infected, you're going to bring it home, and you're going to hurt the people that you care about the most, and that's what we don't want to have happen. Hey, Kate MC, New York is peaking first. The rest of the country will follow. It will be hold on a second. It will be a bloodbath if Trump lifts restrictions. I work in an ER in Philadelphia. I have met a lot of infected people. No joke. Okay, well, thank you for that information. And you're right. I think it's a horrible idea for him to lift restrictions. I think we're going to be in for a world of hurt if he does that. So hold on a second. I think I missed something here. Hold on. Okay, Chunky Monkey, kind of funky. I like that name. Spring Prepper Nurse 1 is back. Trim beard, off topic. Can't really hire anyone due to the virus shutdowns, but any good ways to eliminate heavy mold issues in a 1970s trailer? All right, what I would suggest, thank you for the donation, first of all, by the way. What I would suggest, you can still go to the hardware stores because they are still available to go to. Make sure you protect yourself. Get kills, okay? What you want to do first, you want to scrub the area with the mold. Wash it down with bleach and water, mostly bleach in that situation to get rid of that mold. Make sure you're wearing a mask and you're protecting yourself when you're washing that area up, okay? Wash it up and then take kills, and you can get it right in a spray can. and you spray that whole area, or you can get it in a bucket like a gallon. It'll look like a gallon of paint. Get yourself a paintbrush and put a heavy layer of Kilz on that. That'll seal that area for you. So that would be my advice to that. So, I hope that helps. And again, thank you for that donation. Kilz, K-I-L-S, I think is what it's called, K-I-L-S. If you go to a hardware, K-I-L-Z, yes, thank you, Happy Elf. If you go to a hardware store and ask them for Kilz, they'll know what you're looking for, and they can help you. Somebody just said they were just tested for the virus. I want to go back to their comment here. Tina just said that. I was just tested for the virus. Well, hopefully you are negative. I really do appreciate that. Let's see. No bleach. Mold will fight to reproduce if in contact with bleach. Mold control spray. Also, somebody's saying don't use bleach. Okay. That's what I've always done. I've used bleach first to clear the area out as much as I possibly can. And then once you put a layer of Kilz on there, K-I-L-Z, that is great stuff. Absolutely great stuff. Yep, you can get it at Lowe's. You can get it at any kind of hardware store. They're going to have it there as well. I heard, hold on a second. Somebody has that comment from the Texas governor, or lieutenant governor. I heard that the Texas governor said the elderly should take the risk to get the virus. What? That's ridiculous. Well, that's absolutely ridiculous. Why would you want to? Especially if that's the most vulnerable population. If they said that, if they really truly said that, they should be let go. That's ridiculous. If they said that, they should be let go. That's absolutely insane. Guys, I see we're at 3.1 still here in the chat. We're at 1.4 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I appreciate if you would do that to show the support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time. You look younger with the beard shaved. Well, thank you, believer in the world. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I know I've gotten a lot of actually positive comments since I've shaved the beard off. I do it every winter for fun. It's just what I like to do. I grow it for like 6 months and then I shave it off. I usually shave it off April 1st, but because we had to go back to my daughter's school, I shaved it off early. Again, guys, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Please make sure you hit that bell icon as well to get all notifications. So thank you ahead of time for that. I do appreciate that. I have sinus problems. Will I be at risk? Yes. Any kind of issues with that type of stuff, it's going to make you a higher risk candidate. Hey, Math, Music, and Life. Let's see. Hold on. I want to make sure I read your comment. Made it on Wednesday to Bug Out property in Michigan, Upper Peninsula. Bought a new nebulizer and 3 masks for $75. Wow. That's pricey. Yeah, that's price gouging right there. Mimi says you look sexy. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, when it's summertime, I don't have the beard in the summer. It's too hot. So, and it's weird because it gets to a certain point, and I'm terrible. I gotta be honest with you. It gets to a certain point where it becomes too much work. And I go, you know what? I ain't dealing with it no more. It's time to come off. So, but I like the beard. It's just something different to do because I can do it. You know, that's one of the things too. So, but states are converting other buildings into hospitals. E.B. Bruner just said, yeah, I know that they're doing a lot of like, they're taking like the dormitories for the colleges and they're going to try to use those to have people stay in there. Heads up, PM1, aka Doc Asif, was just sharing those thoughts. Hold on a second. We're just sharing those that who the CBC type oils are more susceptible, well, similar to smokers. I did not see that. So thank you, Real Freedom Preparedness, for that comment. I did not see that. Sam Lowry, yes, eye protection is very, very important. If you're going to be out in public and out there and about, you know, and like I said, who cares what people think? The people that are unprepared, that do nothing, you know, and won't protect themselves when they're being told they need to protect themselves. You know, I mean, I don't wish anybody to get sick, but if they did, that's really on them at that point because they didn't follow protocol. Hey, Jay Medic. People in Ohio denied tests despite having doctor's orders. Wow. And so, you know, again, so there's a great example. So we're going to go back to this really quickly. So New York has the most cases in the United States, right? Why? Because we finally have aggressive testing because our governor, you know, is on it. which, like I said, and I will say it again, I am not a fan of Cuomo at all, okay. But I think that he's doing a fantastic job. I absolutely do. You cannot fault him the way he's handled this. They're doing aggressive testing. They finally got kits. They've been calling for kits. They've said we got to get kits. We got to test people. A lot of states, their numbers are still low or not that high because they're not testing people. As of I think it may be. I think it was maybe about 4 days ago. I think it's about 4 days ago. Only 195,000 people in the entire United States have been tested. Now, I want you to let that sink in for a second. We've had this here for a while now, starting in Seattle, right? Started in Seattle, had all the people at the nursing home died. Terrible, horrible thing, right? Now it's all over the place. Went from Seattle, then it was in California, and then it's just spread like wildfire since then. There's a lot more cases of people that have this that do not know that they have it. This thing is so deadly because of the incubation period. That's the scary thing. Now, 14-day quarantine is not going to ever cut it. 14 days is not going to cut it. The incubation period is between 14 and 27 days. That they know, right? So why are you only doing 14-day quarantines on people? That doesn't make any kind of sense at all, okay? So, that's something that people need to think about as well. He said old people should get the virus and die to help the economy. He said it during an interview. See the tape. Nikki Johnson. You know what? Well, I'll tell you what then. If that guy said that, let his parents go first. That's horrible. I'm going to tell you what. Again, my mom is 76. She'll be 70. I think she's 70. Let's see. Yeah, she'll be 77 this year. Okay. I don't want her to die. I don't want her to get the virus. I want to keep her around as long as I can. So if that means I isolate and keep her safe, that's exactly what I'm going to do. That's insanity. If that guy said that in an interview, he should be fired. He absolutely should be fired. Trump will be in a packed church on Easter. Well, and again, I don't think that that's a smart thing to do at all. Oh, Ashley said he's including himself too. Well, he must be older then, so his parents are already gone. It's too bad. I just think that is when you say stupid things like that and you encourage people to do something that reckless, he should be fired. That's my opinion on that. Hidden Pines Homestead. Hold on a second. You drop 10 pounds with the beard gone. Also, this is a point in time where people will be getting crazy. I feel the same about Cuomo. Yeah, you know what? And that's the other thing I wanted to bring up today in the chat too, guys. People are acting very bizarrely already. When I was out the last time I went to the grocery store, when I watched the people, they were like that deer in the headlight look. They were just loading up their carts, going through the motions, and there was panic and it was fear. You could see it. I mean, it was hanging in the air. It's getting to a point where people are getting more brazen, doing stupid things and being more aggressive. I think you're going to continue to see those type of things happen. I don't want to scare people. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I want you guys to be situational awareness. So here's a great example of situational awareness. My daughter, when she would get off the bus and she had to walk down the road, okay, or if there was times that I wasn't home yet from work and she had to walk down to the bus stop, okay, it's 0.2 of a mile, big deal, right? A lot can happen in 0.2 of a mile. So what I always used to tell her was, don't be on your phone. Don't be having your headphones in and not pay attention. Pay attention to what is happening around you. I said, if somebody comes rolling down that road and stops, and let's say they got a gun and they say, get in the car. I said, you run. You never get in the car. I said, and even if they shoot you, it's better to run because you don't know what they're going to do or what their intentions are. Always be aware of what's going on around you. Now is a time, right now, folks, to have situational awareness. If you are out in public, be careful. Why, Ed, does it have to be first? Can't we lose this one? Why does the U.S. have to be first? Can't we? Yeah, right, exactly. Well, I think that we'll be. Well, I'm going to tell you what. In my opinion, obviously, we're never going to know what the true numbers were in China. China's beating everybody, and it ain't 80,000 in China. It is a lot higher than that. There's a lot more deaths in China. So I will never, ever. Oh, is Marv here? Is Adam here? Well, if Adam's here, guys, Marfugal News, we're going to talk about that in just a second. Al Gibson, those of us who are 70 plus will take care of ourselves, but don't sacrifice for the country. Don't think folks understood him, what he was getting at. I have no idea. But so anyway, Adam's here in the chat. I want to say hi to Adam real quick from Marfugal News, guys. If you have not gone over, shown Adam some love, go over there, subscribe to Adam. Yep, he is in the chat. Okay, very cool. So make sure you guys get over there to Adam, show him some love, subscribe to his channels, and it's Marfugal News, okay? So make sure you do that. Let's see. Stephen Toothy 333, thanks a lot, Ed. You've turned my girlfriend into a hardcore prepper. Bank account RAP. Shout out to your new fan, Jess. Well, Jess, welcome aboard, and I'm glad you're involved with prepping. That's awesome. I'm going to tell you what a positive thing from this whole situation that is absolutely going to happen. We are going to have a lot more people in this country prepared. A lot more people. A lot more people are going to be ready. Hey, Catherine, they need to look at the recovered versus death. Exactly. You know, China's numbers don't make sense because they're trying to say so many people are recovered. But let's look at Italy's numbers for a second really quick. Oh, my goodness. Hold on, guys. We got to hold on. Math, Music, and Life. Do not send kids back to school. HVAC chemicals scrub cost $200,000 per building. School boards will opt for the cheaper non-hazmat methods. Plan to homeschool for the next 3 years if you want to protect your kids. Thank you for that information. I appreciate that, and that's a tremendous amount of money. Asif, forget about Common Core math, Chinese math times 10, everything that comes out of China. Yeah, I can't disagree with you on that one. But I want to run over this really quick. Thank you both for the donations. I do appreciate it, and thank you for that information on school. Yeah, if you can homeschool your kids, guys, it's definitely better for your kids anytime. All right, let's look at Italy's numbers. Italy is at 69,176 cases right now. They have 6,820 dead. All right. They have 8,326 recovered. That's almost 50-50. So for China to try to say China supposedly has 81,171 with only 3,200 dead, 3,277, and they're saying 73,159 are recovered. I don't believe it. Not for a freaking minute. They've been, like I said, they've been lying since the beginning. Why are they going to start telling the truth now? Okay, that's and I want to bring something else up again too tonight in the chat. Hey, Marv, thank you very much. I repeat. Oh, hold on a second. I repeat, Trump is trying to keep spirits up. Our military group says we will not be open by Easter. They have official plans 2 weeks past that. I agree with you 100%, Adam. Thank you so much for that donation as well. I do appreciate it. Yeah, this is going to be a long, drawn-out thing. A long, drawn-out thing for sure. Thank you for sharing that information. I appreciate that. This is way bigger than anyone can imagine. Life will change unbelievably from here on. That's Matt Army 23. Thank you very much for that donation. I appreciate it, and I agree with you. Economic collapse will cause more death than corona. Garrett, I can't disagree with you there at all. Thank you for that donation. Baroness, China's decades old, only one child per family was lifted this past January. What does that tell us? Well, that's a lot of information right there, and that makes a lot of sense. I'll tell you what, guys, we are in for some scary times coming up, and I'm not trying to scare anybody, but economically. So, okay, right now they're trying to pass. Hey, Terry Dozer, thank you very much for that donation. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Right now they're trying to pass a stimulus bill, $2 trillion. So we're going to pull $2 trillion out of the air, okay, to put into the economy. We're going to give everybody some money. Yay, everything's wonderful. It's not going to be wonderful. First of all, that money has to be paid from somebody, okay? So, that is definitely going to be the case. That money has to come from somewhere. So it just doesn't appear automatically. With people not working, think about this, guys. People are not working. Right now, people have gone nuts spending all kinds of money on a lot of groceries and stuff. So let's say you went out. Let's say you're one of those people that went out and went crazy shopping at the last minute. And let's say you got 3 months worth of food. You've loaded up your cart. You got 3 months of food. You're not going back out next month to get more food because you have food, right? So where's that money coming in to stimulate the economy next month? So these are things that people need to think about. With people not working, depending on if they're going to pass these bills. I know that they're trying to pass the one. Schumer's trying to get the thing to make sure people get a paycheck for 4 months to stay home. If they're planning for 4 months for you to stay home, and we just started these lockdowns, right? For New York State, it just started Sunday night, right? So for 4 months, shelter in place type of thing. I'm going to tell you what, no excuses for people this year, guys, for your gardens. No excuses at all. Get your gardens in. Biggest gardens you ever thought about doing. Get your canning jars, get your canning lids. Make sure you get everything you need to do, your pickling salts and all those type of things that you need to do your canning. Get those things and get canning. That would be my advice. Get gardening. Get as big as garden as you can. The food may not be there down the road. Like I told you guys, probably I've been talking about it for a year. Something told me, food, add food. And that's what I've been doing steadily for a long time. The one thing, a misconception is I think a lot of people have with preppers, we don't do things overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. We work at things methodically while we can. So we're not like going into the stores and clearing out things all at once. Now, people have gone out and they've added to their preps. I did. I'm not going to lie. I added to my preps because I saw this thing coming. I talked to you guys about it. I've had a lot of people contact me. Mark Saxon just said, hold on a second. Thank you so much for all you do. My girlfriend has finally opened her eyes. Thanks for you and Marfugel family. Much love and respect. Stay safe. Thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate you saying that. Ed, White Family Homestead just said, Ed, you and I have been talking about this for months. Yeah, we saw, when you see things coming, when you can see it, and people aren't listening and they're not paying attention, I got to say, I do have to say, a lot of you guys that watch my channel, you jumped on board, you went out and you protected yourselves, which I think is absolutely awesome. Prepper Chris 1. Oh, hold on a second. Old Stogie Grasshopper and Old Story Grasshopper and the Ant. Exactly. You work at things methodically, guys. Things happen. Things come together. So that's what it's all about. Working at it, getting things together, getting things squared away. Just work at things methodically. They will happen. We're going to go probably at least a 9:20 tonight, guys, because I can't believe it's already 8:50 already. It's gone by really, really fast. So we're going to stay on here at least 20 minutes after 9. I just want to put that out for you guys so you know. I see we're up to 3.3 in the chat, guys. We're at 1.7 on a thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, if you would do that, I would appreciate that. And thank you very much for showing support for the channel. It does mean a lot to me. I like to see how big we can get the thumbs up too. It's a little game I like to play. Hey, Dana, thank you for all your advice. You're very welcome. And thank you very much for that donation as well. I do appreciate that. Thank you. You know what, guys? We're a huge, huge family, a huge network of people. We're the ones that our eyes were open, okay? We really were. When a lot of people had their eyes closed, our eyes were open, and that's important. It really, really is. Hey, Lockridge Farm. Oh, hold on a second. I want to make sure I read your comment. I'm ready for the boogaloo. I understand that. Thank you very much, Uper Viking. Now is the time. Oh, hold on a second. Now is the time to trust your gut. Exactly. And thank you very much for that donation as well. I appreciate that. But again, guys, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you also subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification as well so you get all the notifications that go on the channel. And again, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support. But anyway, we're the ones that are awake. We're the ones that truly are the ones that can make a difference now, during, and after. Okay, that makes a whole lot. It just makes sense. My husband used to make fun of me 3 months ago for prepping. He's not laughing now. No, I'm going to tell you what. A lot of people are not laughing now. Preppers aren't so fun to laugh at anymore. People are going, wow. I've had a lot of people, believe it or not, a lot of people come up lately and say, you know what, man, you were right. And, and thank you. But, it's just my biggest thing. And I've talked about this a lot, guys. I've talked about this a lot. My biggest thing, if I can get you to help yourself, that's my goal. Because you know why? That's one less victim out there. We can rely on ourselves. We can have that control. That's what it's about. Controlling that narrative. Do not rely on the government or somebody else to take care of you. Rely on yourself. Hey, Heather Paul. Hold on a second. We live in an apartment. We just got a hydrator and started dehydrating the veggies. Also, next month we are getting a canner and hardcore canned meat and meals. That is very smart. Very, very smart. I'm glad to hear it. That's awesome. And thank you so much for that donation as well. I do appreciate that. Thank you. I'm going to tell you what. The best thing that's going to come out of this, unfortunately, I think a lot of people are going to pass from this. I really do. But the best thing that's going to come out of this, we're going to have a whole bunch of new preppers. How is the little prepper lady doing? You know what? I haven't talked to her in the last few days, so I'm going to have to give her a call. Actually, guys, too, let me give her a shout out real quick too. Go over to Little Prepper Lady. That's her name. That's her channel. Show her some love. Give her some support. I don't know if she's put a video up in the last couple of days or not either. I really don't know. Justin Larson, thank you very much for that support. I do appreciate it. Yeah, she's a very new channel. I mean, she started last year, and then she stopped doing it because she was in college, and she just started doing it again. So, you know, let's go over and give her some love and give her some support. And if you guys would subscribe to her, and, you know, that's just, you know, it's just trying to support the community. You know, that's what it's all about. I know Prepper Rabbit was in here earlier as well. I don't even think he's at 2,000. I don't think he's at 2,000 subs, guys. So hold on a second. Joe Smith, I have type 2 diabetes. Any advice of things get really bad and I run out of meds? Well, that is, you know, that's a tough call. I mean, you're going to have to watch your diet the best you can. Type 2 diabetic, you know, it's a tough call. I mean, you're just going to have to do the best that you absolutely can. So JJ just put up the link for the Little Prepper Lady on there. And if you guys, again, definitely go check out Marfugal News. Make sure you subscribe to him as well. And let's just do it as a surprise for fun. If you are not subscribed to Prepper, it's Prepper Rabbit 1 now. He changed his name. So it's Prepper Rabbit 1. Let's go over there. Let's get him up over 2,000 subscribers. Christy Martinez, Mexico equals 367 new cases. Food shortages coming. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Math, Music, and Life. Joe Cinnamon and Apple cider vinegar. Okay, well, thank you very much for that information. Yes, apple cider vinegar is a good thing to have as well. There, you know, again, guys, food shortages are coming. The supply chain is already breaking down. We're having issues. If this thing continues and accelerates, okay, it's going to get bad. It's going to get really, really bad. So, you know, that's Creepy Myrtle is showing promise in treating diabetes overseas. Oh, okay. I did not know that. Thank you for that information. So JJ's throwing up all these links, guys, for these other channels. Again, Prepper Rabbit 1, let's bump him up over 2,000 subscribers. Give him some love. He's struggling. He's struggling. I'll be honest with you. He's really struggling. He's got a lot of medical issues, but he's still trying. And, you know, anybody in the prepper community, I think we need to show support and show love to. That's what it's about, really is, you know. Wood Spirits, bread machine, yeah. You know what? It's like, well, that's why I went and bought that flour. I got to tell you that too. Edward Bustamate, thank you very much for that donation. I appreciate that. Thank you. Somebody had asked me how much I paid for the 50-pound bag of flour. So I looked on the receipt because I didn't even know. I just was like, I was piling stuff up, and whatever it was, that's what I paid for it. Prepper Chris 1. Are you insulin dependent? That's what he's asking. Yeah, if you're insulin dependent, I think that's type 1 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes can be managed by diet. So if you lose weight with the type 2 diabetes, you could actually not be dependent anymore on insulin type of stuff. Type 1 diabetics that are insulin dependent. My mother is a type 1 diabetic. So I'm just, you know, that's just, you know, Practically Practical. Show my channel love too. Rabbit approved. Okay. Practically Practical is looking for some love as well, guys. I have not even seen your channel, but if you guys would like to go over and show her some love and show her some support, thank you very much for that donation. I do appreciate that. Again, so I was getting back to what I was saying about the flour. So the flour for a 50-pound bag, it was $18.45 is what I paid for a 50-pound bag of flour. So I can absolutely make my own bread with that. I do have yeast. It's one of the things that I actually went out and bought when I was stocking up here more recently. I have other kinds of stuff all over the place as well, but I added more. Lady Kickboxer 23 says she's got a good channel. Okay, well, there we go. So we got to show her some love, too. We're showing everybody love tonight, right? Prepper Chris 1 says you should check out mine. Well, we got to give Prepper Chris 1 some love then, too, guys. Veterans are amazing. There is a law recently passed that makes it a felony to have more than 60 days of food. It's a hoarding law. You know, they've had a law in the books, you know, that they can, yeah, I haven't seen that law, to be honest with you. You know, how can they tell you what you can have? Again, that's more government overreach and control. So, Minister Lisa Lee Lorenzo, oh, hold on a second, I got to read, I'm sorry, I can't even. LaRusso Wilhelm, I probably said that wrong, and I apologize. Please listen, God has shown me everything in 7 days vision on August 2018. I'm dying with little time left to get this message out. Thank you so much for helping us all be ready for the time. God bless you all, or God bless us all. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for that comment, and I'm sorry to hear that your time is short. Practically Practical, thank you, PN1 and PN1 family. Well, thank you, and thank you again for that donation as well. Yeah, you know, when you're dying, that's not a great thing anytime, especially if you know it's coming. That's hard. C&G, outside of individual preppers, who politically would you say is a good community to band with now in these times? Again, what I would suggest to people is work with your neighbors if you can. If you have good neighbors, thank you for that donation as well. If you have good neighbors and decent neighbors, I would encourage you to try to reach out with them, plan on working together, because again, and I've said this before, your biggest threat in an emergency situation, a grid down type of situation, long term, is going to be your neighbors. So if you've already planned to work with them, you know, that is the important thing. Okay, so that's something that you know, try to reach out to them. That would be the first people that certain religions encourage food storage. Absolutely, the Mormons in their tenet, they're supposed to have a year's worth of food available. So you know, I don't know if that somebody, you know, the person that had said about the law of 60 days, I don't see that is a nationwide law. I don't think that is. I don't know. I mean. But they can't tell you what you can do. That is absolutely ridiculous that they would try to have that kind of control or overreach. Can you have, and oh, hold on a second. You can have any preps you want as long as you bought them with your money. Terrence Parker Jr. Exactly. I'm not going to have anybody ever dictate to me in that aspect of what I can and cannot do as far as being prepared. That's none of their business. So, you know, my neighbors are 60 plus years of age. I'm 67, but in pretty good shape, I think is what he said. I want to make sure I read that. Yep, pretty good health. Gary Tedlock just said that. Well, again, those would be the people actually that you would probably want to work with more than anybody else, or probably the more real people that are out there. The Mormons have a preparedness manual free for download. It's very helpful. Yeah, there is a guide too, guys. You can go online and you can food calculator. So if you type in food calculator, it's going to take you to the site where you can calculate how much food you need for a family of 2, 3, 4, 5 for a year. And it'll tell you what you should have for your family of however many that you have for that year. If they ask for the steel, show them the lead. Yeah, Mr. V, I agree. Thank you, Ed. You are my hero, and it's an honor to mod for you. Well, thank you, Prepper Chris One. I appreciate that. You know, my moderators are awesome. So you have no idea how much I appreciate the fact that each week you guys come on here for every show and keep the chat clean and stay. You know, JJ's been with me for a long time. Wolf Fang is another one that's been around for a long time. So there's a couple guys, you know. And if I'm missing somebody, I'm sorry if I don't say your name, but, you know, we just added a bunch of new moderators as well, because as the channel's gotten bigger and the shows have gotten bigger, you know, we got a lot more people in the chat. So, but yeah, you guys are awesome. So you have no idea how much I appreciate what you guys do. I missed your super chat, Angel. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Scotland is locked down. Police now have the power to break up gatherings and find people. Stay safe, everyone. That was Angel Demera, I hope I said your name right. And that's thank you very much for that information. I appreciate it. And if I missed your super chat, I do apologize. Not intentional at all. Guys, like I said, the biggest thing, and I'm going to say it again, and I know I've said it 100 times, and I'll probably say it 100 more. My goal is for you to help yourselves. That is my most important goal, that if I can teach you guys to help yourselves, to prepare, to not be afraid. Prepping is such peace of mind, you have no idea. And if you can do it, if you can get off grid and get away from the nonsense and the rat race and get away and have some kind of peace of mind and have a little property and do something with it, there's nothing like it. I'm going to tell you what, I'm doing this on 3 acres. Everything that I'm doing on 3 acres, a lot of the property behind me, I'm not even using. I haven't even touched it, other than when we cleared everything out in the beginning. I've been focusing on everything in the front. So Math, Music, and Life, buy protein powders for full, hold on a second. For a full year, veggies grow, but huge protein shortages coming. You know what? That's really good advice. And you can get those at any of those energy type of places, health stores. Protein powder, not a bad thing to have to add to your diet. Very, very good advice. Thank you for that donation as well. I can't post links in this chat, Justin. Oh, I'm sorry, Justin. But anyway, guys, what I'm going to do now, it's 4 after. I'm going to do what I normally do, our thing, so we get that out of the way. And then we'll keep going on. We're going to go to 20 after. We are Legion. We are the huge Prepper Nurse One family. We're all over the world. We're all over this country. Hey, Prepper Chris One. I want to say, hold on a second. I want to make sure I get your comment. I want to say thank you to chat for subbing. Thank you all. It means a lot. Yeah, you guys, everybody that's here, I appreciate you guys. You have no idea how much it means to me that you guys come in to hear me talk and to share thoughts and the information that you guys share as well. It is really, really important as well. And I appreciate all of that. I really do. But anyway, we are Legion. We are this huge family, this huge network of people, because there's many of us. We're all over the country. We're all over the world. We are the ones, guys. Yes, Legion, and not in the bad biblical way, okay? Legion in the good way. Why do I got to say it every time? Legion, okay, one instance in the Bible, a demon said, I am Legion because we are many, okay? One instance. It does not mean Legion is a bad thing for everything else forever and ever. Our Legion that we're talking about is good. We have a good Legion. So that being said, everybody's already doing it. You guys are jumping the gun here. Where's everybody from tonight? Wait, hold on a second. Living Sweet Journey, I want to read your comment real quick. It's time to go back to the basics, start a Victory Garden, folks. Absolutely. We have Colorado, Florida. Hold on a second. Wisconsin, Southwest Minnesota, Port Angels, Washington, Trinidad. Wow, that's cool. Utah, BC, Canada, Dallas. That's in Texas, obviously. Arizona, Texas again, Flint, Michigan. Let's see, Sweden. I just saw Sweden, Tennessee, Florida, Daytona Beach, Dayton, Ohio. We have, oh my, this is going by really, really fast. Wyoming, Savannah, New York. I saw Baltimore go by, Georgia, Rochester, New York, Phoenix, Arizona, northern Georgia, southern Missouri, Cleveland, Ohio, New York City, Connecticut. Be safe down there. Hawaii, Tennessee, we have Oklahoma, Vegas, New Zealand, very nice, Hopewell, Raleigh, North Carolina, we have Norway, Tennessee, Australia, let's see, Virginia, New Jersey, Northern Texas, Missouri, Alabama, North Dakota, San Francisco. Hey, Mac, I'm sorry, I don't see what it said. It was too quick. New Zealand. Let's see, we have Kentucky, Clarksville, Arkansas, Yuba in California, Anderson, South Carolina, Arkansas, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Hilo, that's in Hawaii, Oregon, South Bend, Indiana, Alabama, Wichita Falls, Texas, West Virginia, Fort Lauderdale in Florida, Lockport, New York, let's see, Atlanta in Georgia, very nice. Hold on a second. Living Sweet Journey. Let me go back. Second Tree, Third Bush, Canada. There you go. Thank you very much. I appreciate that donation. Buffalo, New York, Cincinnati, Ohio, Arkansas, Sweden, Oregon, and Asheville, North Carolina, Virginia Beach, Key West, Port Angels, Washington, Sweden again, Louisiana, Coastal South Carolina, Buffalo, New York, Cape Coral, Florida, Ontario, Canada, Mountville, Connecticut, Binghamton, New York. So, guys, you know what? We're all over this country. We are all over the world. We are this huge network of people. And here's the thing, too. If we work together and we network and we connect and plan on working together, there's no stopping us. There really isn't. There's a lot of us out there, a lot more than people think. We got Sweden, Pine Bush, Quebec in Canada, upstate South Carolina, Pine Bush, Newcastle, Ontario. And you know what? And exactly. With this crisis happening, we do nothing but get bigger and stronger as preppers, because more people are waking up and they're realizing how fragile this system truly is. And let's say we weather the storm and we come out of it the other side and everything gets back to relative normalcy. Okay, let's say that happens. There's going to be a lot more of us, a lot more preppers out there, a lot more people awake and ready for that next emergency, and that's a good thing. Again, I think that is an absolutely fantastic thing. And even if you just woke up because of this crisis, you just woke up and you just started going with prepping, work at it methodically, work at it. You'll get there. That's what it's all about. Nothing happens overnight. Nothing happens. It can be very, very overwhelming. You start out with a week's worth of food. You make it 2 weeks worth of food and water, and then you build it up from there. Make sure you get some way to filter water. That's probably the most important thing that you can absolutely do. Angel de Media, Loch Ness. Thank you, Ed. You inspired me to prep. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and I'm glad that you are. If I inspire you guys to do it, that makes me happy, because that, you know why? That's one less victim out there. If you're not a victim, it means you're doing something about it, and that's important. That's important to me. I want you guys to help yourselves. That's the most important thing. Your families should be high on that list. Charlotte, North Carolina, very nice. I've been down there. Nice area. James Osborne, thanks, Prepper Nurse 1, best channel on YouTube. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. That means a lot to me. McDonald's shut down their restaurants. R.D. Franklin just said that. I did not know that. I didn't. I know that you can't go in. I think are they still doing drive-through? I thought they're still doing drive-through. I saw a comment. I want to make sure I read it. The government doesn't want us to be prepared. They want us to suffer. Well, the government wants us to rely on them, Terrence Parker Jr. That's what they want. They want us to be relying on them. And if we're not relying on them and we're as independent as we possibly can be, that's the goal. Be as independent. You're never going to be 100% free, because we're always going to be tied in with taxes, okay? If I don't pay the taxes on my property, they take my property. But if that's the price we have to pay, that's the price we have to pay. But if I can be as free as I can with being off grid and not being hooked up to the power and the water, that's a win as far as I'm concerned. Hey, D. Erickson, Walmart has OTC, hold on a second, insulin for $25. Well, there you go. Over-the-counter insulin for $25. Walmart has it. D. Erickson just said that for somebody earlier that talked about insulin. So that's good information to know, and thank you for sharing that, and thank you for that donation as well. I do appreciate that. Pennsylvania Governor Wolf backs down, declares gun dealers are life-sustaining. There you go. Yeah, the whole thing with that, I know gun sales are up absolutely like crazy. I believe we have a right to be able to protect ourselves. That's really important. Team Apocalypse, hold on a second. Get detoxification now and parasite tablets. That's not a bad idea. Thank you for that information, and thank you very much for that donation as well. I do appreciate that. Corrections nurse said, how can insulin be sold over the counter? You know what? I've never heard of it myself, corrections nurse. I don't know if that so let me just say this. Any information that I repeat that somebody says in a comment, I'm not guaranteeing that that's 100% true. I'm just going to put that out there to be honest, okay? Because I do not know. Order of the True Force. Do I have a ham radio? Are you using it? If so, will you share your call sign to your Prepreneur on your Prepreneurs website. I do have a ham radio. I am not a ham operator at this point. I have not taken the test yet. But thank you for that donation. That is something that I have to do. Yes, I know I need to do that. But if things go completely belly up, it don't matter if you have your license or not, because that's not going to matter anymore at that point. So we'll still be able to communicate. Obviously, if I get on there, I'm going to be Prepper Nurse One. People are going to know who I am if I get on there that way. So that's the way that I would do it at that point in time. But I would like to get my ham operator's license. I have all the booklets to study and everything. So that's something I definitely do need to take care of. The insulin is Novolin N. Buy one for my dog OTC. You get 100 bottles for $25. Or 100 in a bottle for, or 1,000 in a bottle. He said for 1,000 in a bottle for $25. Nancy Miller. Oh, so you're buying it for your dog? Okay, all right. 10-pound bag of potatoes is $8.99. Practically practical said. Price gouging much? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's crazy. That would be, guys. I'm going to tell you what. In your gardens this year, make sure you're planting potatoes. Potatoes will give you a huge, huge amount of produce back. Get your carrots in, get your root vegetables, your onions, all stuff that you can use, that you can, for eating, and they store well. Potatoes, onions, carrots, they will store a long time. If you have a root cellar, that'll work really, really well for you guys. So I definitely encourage you to do that as well. So people let out of jail in New Jersey. I know they're doing that, Lucy, all over the place. 9 violent offenders. They're letting a lot of people out of jail. So, Prepreneurs, according to Daniel 11:14, the only safe place from the Antichrist is Jordan. Okay, Cairo Amedio. I don't know if I said your last name right, but thank you for that information. I use wipes from the stores to wash my hands and car holders, wheeling and the steering wheel. There's nothing wrong with that. Wipe that down. Like I said, but the biggest thing you can do to protect yourself before you go into the store, carrots, celery, onion stumps, and water. They'll work that way too. Hey, Baroness, you can get 30-70 regular for $26 at Walmart. Okay, for the insulin. Okay. So there you go. I guess you can. So that's like the third person that said that you can get it there. Thank you for that donation, and thank you for that information. So again, I would check it out, guys. Don't take my word or anybody's word on here. Definitely go check that out for yourselves. But that is a resource if you are looking for insulin. Definitely check that out. Let's see. Matthew just said, hold on a second. Trump wants people to return to work soon. Not a good idea. What are your thoughts? I talked about that earlier in the chat, but I'll say it again. I don't think we're going to be back to work that quickly. I absolutely do not think so. There's no way that that's going to happen that fast. This thing isn't even peaked yet. It's not even begun to peak. So, Ed, your channel should have 1 million subs. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Ed, I'm going to tell you what, and I'm going to say this again. And I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. As the channel continues to grow and I get bigger, I'm not looking to be a rich, wealthy man and have the big fancy cars and all kinds of bells and whistles. That's not my thing. I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of guy. I always will be a jeans and t-shirt kind of guy. If my channel ever blows up huge and I end up with like 1 million subscribers and I'm making a lot of money, I'm going to tell you right now, one of my main goals that I want to do is give back to the prepper community, to help preppers that need help, to be able to go help them get, like, if they need water lines put in or if they need solar or whatever they need to have. I want to be able to be there and help fellow preppers, fellow homesteaders, people that are trying to get off grid. That's my ultimate goal. And to be able to be in a position to be able to do that, that's what my goal is. Prepper Chris 1, you're building USA Ark. You're building us an ark, right? Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, I'm going to build an ark too. Thank you very much for that donation as well. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, that's my ultimate goal. I said that, guys. I'm going to tell you right now. When I had 400 subscribers, That's exactly what I said then. If I ever get big enough, I want to get to a point where I can help other people. That's my goal. Now, obviously, reaching out, encouraging people to prep, waking people up, that's really a huge thing for me as well. And I know I've done that a lot. I know a lot of people have done that, okay? But it's great to look humble. Don't need $1 million suit. No, you will never see. You know what? I own one suit, and it's used for two things: weddings and funerals. So that's what I use that suit. I would never be a suit guy. Not my thing, ever. But, like I said, it's just my ultimate goal is to get out there, people that are just getting off. Because here's the thing. When the failure rate is more than 50% of people trying to go off grid, because they try to go off grid. They realize rather quickly how difficult it is to go off grid, and then they quit and go back on grid. It happens to a lot of people because they don't realize how tough it is and how hard it is and how much effort and work it takes. So if I can be in a situation where I can help people like that, that's exactly what I want to do. Eyes are wide open. Funky Fresh just said that. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. We all need to have our eyes wide open. There's a lot going on. Scary, scary times. MT Coiner, what's an easy crop to grow that is good to eat? Where does a newcomer start when planting a garden? Almost ready to plant. Thank you. Again, and I'm going to say it again, potatoes. Potatoes, potatoes, potatoes. You plant them, make sure you water them. Once you pull that one potato that you put in, you pull that plant in the fall, you're going to have a lot of potatoes if you've taken care of those crops. TBC 101, Bernie 2020. I don't think it's going to be Bernie. It looks like it's going to be Biden there as a running guy. But thank you for that donation, and thank you for your comment. It's all right. You can support whoever you want. It doesn't make a bit of difference to me. Like I said, I hate politics. So let's see. I just want to see, somebody said something about Facebook. Facebook's is censoring church services. Many videos are removed, mine included. Chelsea Portal just said, see, and that's wrong. That's wrong too. If you're sharing that information and people want to watch it, it's an individual choice. It's just like any of the prepping channels. If you want to watch, great. If you don't want to watch, then don't watch. That's how it works, But so anyway, guys, I'm going to ask for one more thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do that. If you have not subscribed to the channels, please also do that. Make sure you hit that bell icon as well to get all notifications. I am going to sign off now, guys. Some nice clean chat tonight. Good. I'm glad that there wasn't a lot of bad people. And we got it in one take tonight. We didn't have to do 5 like we had to do Sunday, which is great. We had a good amount of people in the chat. I think we hit 3.3 was we peaked out at today in the chat, which is awesome. Remember, guys, we are all in this together. That is really, really important to remember, and people need to really remember that. We're in a position, a lot of us are, so where we can make a huge, huge difference. So let's try to do that. Also, guys, remember to hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every day. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel, okay? Also, remember STD. And people always, newer people go, STD? I know what STD is. No, you don't. STD is really simple. Stands for one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do in life, doesn't have to be prepping related or off-grid related, whatever you're trying to accomplish. If you work at it methodically, the only person that can stop you from reaching those goals is you. That's it. Nobody else can stop you, okay? Stay positive. Stay away from that negativity, guys. One time, real quick again, thank you to my moderators who continue to do an outstanding job of keeping the chat clean. I appreciate you guys. You have no idea. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope everybody has a great night. I will be back on tomorrow night, 8 p.m., Wednesday night live stream. So look for me then and look for my video through the day tomorrow. Okay? I will talk to you all later. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.